I'm Kelsey.
And I'm Renay.
And you're listening to the Working-ish Moms Podcast. Link. Are you nervous?
Yeah. I don't know what I'm getting into.
Hi, everyone. Hold on, I need to... See, Renay's not here today, so... Well, she's not here today. She was supposed to be going to Florida this week. However, it rained, or rain was on the radar for the 3 days that she was going to be there. So she was like, fuck that. I'm not going. And
I don't know why she did.
What? Didn't go?
Yeah.
Because it was another week that worked for them.
Oh,
and
so she rebooked it.
Yeah. It wasn't like too annoying to rebook. But normally she does the lighting and, placement of the recording, and I would say that's the hardest for me today, is her not being here. But I'm sure everyone is just dying to know, who is this bitch sitting on the left of me? This is my sister Ashleigh.
Hello.
My eldest sister.
I feel like you feel the need to say that because everyone thinks I'm younger.
Ashley's very immature, so everyone's like, "Oh, you must be the younger sister." But she's not. She's 2 years older than me. But yeah, this is my sister Ashleigh, Leigh. Unlike Renay's sister, Ley.
Yes.
Ashleigh is going to be 40 this year. I know.
Woot woot.
I know. It's crazy. And Ashleigh is the OG mom of my life, because one, I would like to say you raised me, but you really didn't. You just tried to
kill you.
Yeah.
Literally.
Tell me to leave you alone most of our adolescent life. But Ashleigh was the first to have a child, and
by far.
Yeah, by far. So yeah, anyway, at first, Renay and I usually go back and forth a little bit and talk about the week we had the week before. And yesterday was Mother's Day. Today's Monday.
Yes.
So
what did you do yesterday? I did see you for a hot minute.
You know exactly what I did yesterday, but I'll fill you in. So in the morning, we went and grabbed some veggie seeds because we did a raised bed garden in my backyard.
Okay.
So we filled it in Saturday, and then Sunday we went and got the seeds and finished the job.
Nice.
And then that led into brunch, more lunch for my mom and our cousin. And then we went to my cousin's house and you met us, and it just was a quick day, but a day that was beautiful. The weather was so nice, and we were just outside, I would say, 3/4 of the day.
It was really nice. I almost bought you seeds.
I'm glad you didn't, because I would have nowhere to put them.
Oh, but they were really cute.
They were cute seeds.
No, they looked like a spoon. And you flip them into the ground. So no, they looked like a popsicle, and it was had a popsicle stick, and it had the writing of what it was. And you just took the popsicle stick and the seeds were on it, and you put it into the ground so that you could see what was growing.
Oh, it's cute.
Yeah,
they think of everything these days.
I know.
But instead you got me a dish towel that said what?
Bitch, I am the secret ingredient.
Which, that's basically right.
I feel
it just means I don't cook, and
you've been doing so much better lately. Guys, I walked into Kelsey's pantry, and it usually only has snacks and things jars of pasta, beans, essentials. I walked in and she had fine ground cornmeal. I literally dropped my mouth and brought it out, and I was like, what is this?
Why do you have this?
Why do you have this? And Kelsey was like, oh, I'm just making homemade flour tortillas, which is not what I thought you were going to say at all.
Yeah, we go through a lot of tortillas, and I was trying to be creative how to eat less gluten and Like you just add water to the
So how did it go?
I mean, not great. Like I used it once and probably used like 2 tablespoons of it. No, I'm just kidding. But no, Rob and I liked it a lot. The kids did not. I couldn't get them thin enough. But yeah, I'm trying. I just, time is not of the essence for me. Or maybe
Yeah.
it's time is of the essence because basically I have no time. So, and I'm not saying that everyone does that cooks, but I'm not good at like being resourceful.
What are you trying to say?
The night before and like, well, I was making food when you came in today too, so I'm looking real good.
I feel like there's not many things you can control in life. Like I've found, but the things that I can control, I'm a little bit of like a control freak type A. I fully lean into. So I can control what I eat for dinner. I can control what I buy, and I control what I wear. And those are like the things that I really
enjoy.
Yeah. You can find a thing that like the thing that you can control that like you enjoy doing. I highly recommend leaning into it.
Yeah.
But it's for me, it's not, I could never just like leave work and be like, what am I gonna make for dinner tonight? I get stressed.
She like meal plans the Sunday before, right? And then you like know what you have in the fridge and
yeah, I try to at least. Work's been really crazy, but I try to make sure like we know what we're having. I feel like every night there's something, and so just trying to see like what works, how we're gonna like play
as far as like an activity, there's something.
Yes, like whether it is a sport. It's my daughter's dance recital this week, so we have dance class and a night of rehearsals. My son has a track meet. So there goes the week, so just trying to, I feel like I can control, what we have and how we're going to get it. And if I feel prepared for the week, my anxiety goes down.
Well, I think that's a good segue. We probably should have introduced you a little bit more in the beginning of like who you are, how many kids you have. Okay. Everyone knows you're 40 now or almost.
But I look
and 30. That you're my older sister. Yeah, like give a background, like ages.
Okay.
Like status, relationship status, social security number, debit card, PIN.
I have 2 kids. One is 16 and he just got his license.
Wild.
And we're looking at colleges, which is wild. And then I also have a just 7-year-old. She just turned 7. And she is like the sweetest, kindest little girl. She has big feelings, and yeah, she's in first, and my son is a junior in high school. I am married. I have been married to my husband for almost 10 years. So my oldest is not his, and my youngest is. And I don't know what else.
We live like a mile away from each other.
Yeah, we live very close. I work full time, hybrid, I guess. I work from home, but I also it's really hard. I work from home, but I bop around a lot too. I'm in healthcare sales, but not pharmaceuticals. So I'm in hospitals a lot, doctor's offices. So I can do a lot of things from home, but then I'll go into some accounts. So I really like it. It's very easy for my life right now. Yeah, I should have done it a long time ago.
What?
Like switch to a more hybrid job.
Yeah, but you kind of like went through the motions in order to like figure out what you wanted to do also, right? Like,
yeah, I mean, I drove for over an hour every day for 11 years, and I pivoted to a job that didn't serve me, and it wasn't a good fit. And it was such a blessing because now I'm in a job that I'm back in healthcare, and I really love it. I love being in healthcare. It's like something I actually know how to do. Um, I really like helping people. Um, and yeah, I always still say though, I don't know what I want to be when I grow up, because truly, um, I never thought that this would be like what I'm doing with my life.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think a lot of people feel that way.
yeah.
Like, just, I also feel like people just feel like they're not grown up,
Oh,
and that
100%. I
it's just,
always say that like my kids are more mature than I am. Like,
mm-hmm.
I can tell you two instances where my daughter made her teacher remind me that there was picture day. So she shot me a text, and I'm like, oh, thank you. And then because we're looking at colleges, my son will text me all the time, be like, don't forget to register your car for the college tour. And I'm just like, oh yeah, thank you.
That's really nice though, because I feel like I'm constantly reminding everyone of everything. But you're like the master of lists too.
I know, and I feel like I've conveyed that to my kids a little bit. Like my son is definitely, I guess, like both my children definitely have my like type A-esque-ness. My son is like, I feel like worse than I am. Um,
He's also like sort of an only child.
yeah,
So like I think, and then once he had siblings, he was so much older, so then he was like responsible for them.
yeah. And then Violet is just like me to a T. Her emotions, um,
Silly.
silly, not like being very sensitive to things. And every time she is, I'm just like, oh, girl, I gave that to you.
Yeah. And also stop.
Yes, I want to wring your neck, but I love you so much.
Yeah. Um anyway, how was your Mother's Day?
It
What did
was
you do?
it was good. So my husband and I have a tradition where I highly recommend, if anyone wants to use this, it is fantastic. He brings the kids to see his mother on Saturday. He also his hometown is 2 hours away from here. And then I go out with my mom
On that Saturday.
on that Saturday. And we've done it since, our daughter was born. I want to say even before. But it's just like a really nice day. I get to spend time with my mom and don't have like that pressure. I feel like there's so much pressure to Mother's Day is just like a mixed bag for people. Like you're a mom, but you also need to see your mom, and you want to make sure she feels special, but you want to feel special.
How,
And
like, also your husband's mom too, like
right,
that whole thing.
right.
Did you get her anything? What are you doing? Like,
Exactly. So this is just like mitigates everything. We talk about what we're gonna get for her. He brings her the gift. He takes her out for a nice breakfast. They spend the night. It's great. It's truly great. And then I go shopping with my mom. I said to my mom, I had 3 bags, like nothing crazy, and I didn't buy anything crazy, but I told her, I can't remember the last time I like went shopping and had actual bags. Like I feel like when we were younger, we used to go to the mall and like have your bags of clothes, but no one really does that anymore.
no, it's like in the movies, like from when we grew up, like
Yeah.
Clueless of like all the
Right,
bags, like
right.
shopping and stuff, and now you just like order everything that you want, and it's like just a pastime almost.
Yeah, yeah, you don't like have that
Or
set.
if you do go into a store, it's one store.
Exactly. Like malls are not that
Yeah.
exciting anymore.
No.
I mean, I still get excited to go to a mall, but not the youngins.
No, they're like, is Lululemon and Alo there? Isn't it called Alo? The like stupid socks that everyone has.
Oh no, no, not that.
Aloe?
Yes.
Is it aloe?
I think so. It's not Avo.
Well, it should be called that. That's what it looks like.
Oh, it's not aloe.
It's ALO.
I know what it is, but
If Renay was here, she'd know.
no, she's not into name brands.
Yeah, but
I listen to your podcast religiously. She's said it.
Yeah, but she's into like trends and stuff more than I am.
She's into Marshalls.
So whatever's at Marshalls.
Yeah. I think it's aloe. Yeah.
Whatever.
I'll ask Noah.
Yeah.
He'll know.
Yeah.
He has
We're going to have to fact check with your 16-year-old.
I mean, I never. So I had Noah when I was 23. I just turned 23. And I just, like, I was like, okay, I'll always be like that young mom. I never thought it would be embarrassing.
Okay. I knew you would, but go ahead.
I know I am. I know I am.
You were
now.
Embarrassing as a sister, so yeah.
I was annoying. I was like, yeah.
Why don't you tell everyone about like the dynamic of like having your first child and like you being very young? Because I feel like you and I as adults haven't like really talked about like how did that feel, and like we just kind of like did it, like we all kind of did it, and like I know how it felt for me, but like how did it feel for you? Like how old were you? What were you going through? Like where were you living? What was going on?
So I was just finishing college and I had Noah. I was living with my parents.
You were single.
Single, yes, very much single. And how did I feel? I felt very alone. Even though, you have all these people around you.
Yeah, like you're literally never alone.
Yeah, but to be in that space, and be a young mom and single is like really lonely.
You were also like the first of your friends to have a child, right?
Yeah, I was the first out of everybody, which is wild because like there was bound to be one of us to be a teen mom, well, and no one did. No. So there we go. Kudos to all of us.
Well, I feel like they scared us with Jesus, but yeah.
I will say though, it's like a joke now. My two very good friends from high school also had children outside of marriage. So we all joke that we all went to a Catholic school. So it's just like a running joke with the three of us that we had our children
out of wedlock.
Yeah, we went to a Catholic school. So there's that. So yeah, I live with my parents. I always felt that like it was lonely in the sense that all my friends were still, they were in their early 20s. Everyone's going out, everyone's meeting people. And because I lived with my parents, I always had to be like, can I go do this? So it never felt like I was truly an adult sometimes. And because I was living with my parents, like anything I did with my child, not just with my parents, but my siblings as well, because they were home, someone had something to say with it that wasn't my partner. So just imagine like trying to raise a child and having your siblings your parents and your siblings living with you, telling you what to do.
Yeah, or like what your kid wants. Like I remember being like, I think he's hungry, or I think this, or I think that, and you're just like, okay, like shut up. Like it's like everyone like has an opinion about like what he wants, how he wants it, what he wants to do, and in reality, like if you were just alone with him or with your spouse, it's like just you two trying to decide like what's best for him.
Right. And I do feel like he was a little bit of like everyone's baby, because not a little bit, a lot of it. Everyone was obsessed with him. He was the first baby in our family.
Yeah, but I know what you're talking about. Like I definitely felt like I had a say so with him because I helped so much and was there so much. And also like I felt like a single parent sometimes too, because everyone had their things that they were doing where like mom would go away for a weekend, or I don't know if dad still traveled at that point. I don't think so. No, he did. He was still working.
Yeah.
And like I was in college, so like there would be weekends where I'd come home from college and like you had something going on. Mom had something going on. There was one weekend where Mom went to New Hampshire. I don't know where you were, but like I remember I had him for that weekend. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm like 21 watching this baby. I was so excited because it like he was such an amazing baby. But I remember thinking, wow, this is a huge responsibility. If anything happens, like one, I'm gonna have to figure out what to do. And two, like I'm on my own.
Right.
It is, yeah. And I do have to say too, and I don't know if you felt this way when you had Violet, but like because of Noah, I was just like, oh, I know exactly what to do. Like I had Noah and
no, I didn't actually feel that way because of Violet. I felt like I was having a baby for the first time.
Yeah, you were.
Yeah.
Like in such a different way. Right?
Yeah.
Like
I was married. It was just like a different, I felt the way I think I should have felt with Noah.
What's the age difference between Noah
10
and Ben?
years.
Okay.
So there's 10 years. And he was so excited to have a sibling. And I had her on Friday the 13th. And
I didn't realize that.
Yes. And I remember I had to be induced, and they were like, we're going to induce you. It was like a Tuesday. And they're like, we want you to come in tomorrow. And I remember telling my husband, like, I was like, I'm going to fucking have this baby on Friday the 13th. Like, I just know it. And sure enough, she came out on Friday the 13th.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
On brand for her.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. So yeah, I felt like one, it was a girl, so that was different. And just like it was my husband's first baby as well. He met Noah when Noah was 3. So he wasn't there for, all the baby things. So there was a little bit of, I remember our first night home, I just wanted to go to bed, and he's like showing her around the house. And I was just like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm showing her home. And I was like, we need to go to bed, like right now. And he's like, you're ruining this for me. And I was just like, you're ruining it for me. And so when we brought her home, my son was with us and visited her in the hospital, but it happened to be April vacation when I had her, and he usually goes with his dad for April for vacation, school vacations. And so he ended up going with his dad, which in my mind was like, oh, this is going to be great. I can bring my daughter home. He'll be with his dad, settle her in. And then when he gets back from his like week away, I'll be more settled. But actually, I just learned that like my son, he told me this like a few months ago, actually. He was like, yeah, I was really sad when you did that. And I was like, what do you mean? I was like, you were supposed to go with your dad. And he was like, yeah, but I thought like you just wanted to get rid of me. And I was like, there we go. That's his trauma. That's his childhood trauma. Like me sending him to his dad's. But like in my mind, it was like, I'm doing this so that I can be more settled and present for him. Mm-hmm. Which like never, you always think about your kids, and it's never, their perception is always different from the one you think in your head. So yeah, he was and is the best big brother ever, like ever. So good with her when she was a baby, so good now. Yeah, they are obsessed with each other, obsessed. I still though, which I didn't think would happen, is I still have to be like, are you kidding, guys? Like, stop bothering each other. Like, it's still a thing. And I was like, I didn't think I would have to do that.
I just think when kids are bored, doesn't matter if like they're 16 or 7, mm-hmm. They just are like, how can I like fuck up the situation right now? Like, who can I piss off?
Yeah.
And like Nixon and Otis do it to each other all the time. They're only 2 years apart. they do it to Griffin. Like,
yeah,
Griffin will be like settled doing something, and they're
they'll
just like
poke him.
they'll like literally run over and
That's what
Noah
used to do with Violet. He'd just like poke her, and I'm just like, you're 10 years older than her. Or when she was a baby, like he'd be like, if I bought some, I remember one distinct time I bought him something at the store, and I was like, oh no, I bought you like whatever it was, a shirt. And he's like, did you get anything for Violet? And I was like, no. And he goes under his breath, yes. She's a baby. But he just felt that I was doing so much for her. And because he was only 10, he didn't understand.
Right.
Like,
no, and you were like in his reality,
yeah.
and in reality, you are doing so much more for the smaller child because they need it.
Yeah.
Like it's literally attention. Like it doesn't matter if you're buying something for them or doing something for them, as long as you're giving them energy, the other one's feeling it. Like you're like you love them more.
Yeah,
you're with them
and there was like that constant pull
mm-hmm.
of like being there for Noah because he was just used to me.
Yeah,
having me always, and then going towards Violet, and it's still like that now. It's tricky. I'm not gonna lie, having them that far apart. Like, my son runs track, and track meets are like 4 hours long. And he runs the first race and the last race. The whole track meet, she is miserable. For the most part. I mean, there are some bright spots, but she does not love them. She does not love going to them. And like, all I want to do is cheer on Noah
and watch him.
And like, it literally never fails. 30 seconds before he runs, Mommy, I need to go to the potty. And I'm like, okay.
I mean, honestly, I would probably act the same exact way she did if I had to go to those track meets all the time.
I know.
And I honestly would go more if, again, I didn't have 3 children and there was more time in the world, because he's literally such a good runner. Noah, minor detail, has never been into any sports. Ashleigh's tried all the things, like try soccer, try basketball, try this, try that. And he does it. He tried throughout his,
yeah, we've tried everything.
Life. And all of a sudden in junior high, he was like, I think I'm going to run track. And Ashley's like, okay. And the kid just was like, literally, like he's an all-star. He just won a 5K literally yesterday. So,
sidebar, he won the 5K. I walked it because I was bullied into doing it. And I was so far behind that he won and had the award ceremony I still hadn't finished.
And then I heard that Violet was crying when you finished the finish line because she wanted the award, so he gave it to her.
I mean, standard.
Yeah, literally.
Standard.
She was upset that she didn't win anything.
I mean, I did ask if there was anything, which I think they should do next year. Whoever wins first place, their mother should get some sort of, like, it's just because it's a Mother's Day race.
Yeah.
Like a little flower.
If they're there. But what if it's, like, an 18-year-old who, like, doesn't have a mom?
Okay, you brought it to a really dark place. But, like, who was I to be like, no, I don't want to, like, do a fun outdoor exercise with my family. Like,
and your husband runs a little bit.
That just sounds terrible. It sounds like I'm like, I don't want to be in the sun. I don't want to walk. Like, I mean, ideally, I would have loved to, like, have coffee in bed and woken up naturally, but tomato.
That's never, like, on the radar of, like, what could actually happen.
Yeah.
On Mother's Day.
I mean, Violet didn't even want to say Happy Mother's Day to me in the morning, and then Chris had to have a talk with her. She cried. So that's how we started our day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I think that you're doing a great job and you have really good kids.
Thank you.
And I think that it must have been really hard trying to navigate everything and finish school and figure out what you wanted to do. And it's been a long journey and road for you. And I think that you've realized now as you've gotten older that, like, it's just life, you
Right.
know. I think you were really hard on yourself when you were younger. I remember you just being devastated that you felt like no one would ever want to date
I
you
was just
because you
going to
had a
say that.
child.
I think that like the lonely part was like having this thing that you're so proud of and you're so proud of your children. Like think about having your kids. You're just like immensely proud of them, but like you also like when I really started like, you know, going back out with my friends, no, it was like a year old. And so I was only 25 and like you don't want to say to someone you meet for the first time, "Oh yeah, and by the way, I have a kid." Like that's just like a big thing and I also felt like I wanted to be very thoughtful in, you know, talking to people that I did have a child and making sure that, you know, if whoever I was dating didn't want to pursue it because I had a child, like I felt no resentment towards them because I was so young. Like, I just feel like I never wanted someone to like feel that I felt a certain way because like they weren't ready because it is a big deal. And then I met my husband at a wedding, my best friend's wedding.
Yeah, it was like movie status. Like you both were in the wedding party.
He was not.
Well, he acted like he was. He's best friends with the groom.
Yes. And it's really funny because he's been really good friends with my best friend's husband, whom I've known since I was about 20, 21. And I had never really met him before. We had even been at the same places a few times, like when I would go visit my friend. But we just never like crossed paths. So I remember pulling my friend into the bathroom that got married. I was like, "Chris, is he a good guy?" Like, and she's like, "Oh, I love him. I don't know why I didn't think of this sooner." Um, and same thing, like, I meet a guy at a wedding. Is the first thing I'm going to tell him, like, "Oh, by the way, I have a kid"? No. So we met, we exchanged numbers, we texted back and forth, and
I heard you guys slept in the same bed that night.
we did.
You're not going to divulge that information?
I mean, nothing happened. We slept in the same bed. However, my friend and her husband were in a bed next to us.
Wait, they slept with you? Oh,
no,
not Beth and JT.
No.
Okay, not the married couple.
Lauren and Jay.
Yeah.
They weren't married yet.
Got it.
Yeah.
I was like, you guys had to sleep over. You guys would do that.
I know, we're a little.
They like wouldn't want to miss anything.
Oh, both all of us.
But at that point, Beth and JT had a baby.
They had Maddie.
Yeah.
Maddie is a year and a half younger than Noah.
Okay.
And they're really cute together now. I remember when she told me she was pregnant, I was just like, yes! Selfishly, because I was just like, now I have someone that like will know what it's like, because it's, you know, as much as we like yell and scream from the rooftops of how we're feeling and being overwhelmed and talking to people about it, like no one knows until they're in it. Like you can tell your husband, like, I have so much to do, I have all this, but like they don't really know. And your friends too, like unless you have 3 kids or 3 under a certain age or have kids a 10-year age gap, no one really knows what you're going through. Like they can like listen, but so I just remember being like super excited. So we exchanged numbers. We texted for a really long time. When I say long time, like 2 weeks. And he had a wedding to go to in Mass. So he just like out of the blue was like, "I have a wedding to go to on Sunday. I'm going to come visit you on Saturday." And I was like, okay. And I remember calling my friend and being like, "I didn't tell him I have a son." And she's like, I was like, "Does he know?" Because mind you, they're all friends. And she was just like, "I don't know." And I was like, "How do you not know?" And she's like, "How do you not know?" It was just, so anyway, he got there super late because that's my husband. And I wanted to, before we like went on our date, I wanted to have a conversation with him to let him know, like, if I have a son, if if this isn't for you, you're completely off the hook. Like, don't worry about it. Like, all fine and good. Got there late. We had to like jet in my car, and my son's like baseball cap was on my front seat. And he's like, oh, let me move this. And then I just had verbal diarrhea. I have a kid. He's 3. This isn't what you want. And he just looked at me and he was just like, oh, I know. And I was like, what? And he was like, oh, yeah, I've known. I knew the whole time. And then I was like, why didn't you say anything to me? You made me like sit and start. He's like, I did think it was a little weird that you didn't say anything about him. But I also didn't want to pressure you until you're ready.
That's so your husband, though.
Yeah.
Like, he's still that way.
Mm-hmm.
He still will not. He allows people to say things on their own time and do things on their own time.
Yeah. And I love that.
And then all of us are like, Chris, hurry the fuck up!
Oh, I know.
Just say what you want for dinner!
Who was it I was telling somebody? And they started. So my husband, he's gotten so much better. And he doesn't even listen to this, so it doesn't matter. He's gotten so much better. But like his friends, it's like a running joke how he's late all the time. And we will be on vacation and I'll just leave him and go do what I want to do. A lot of time I'll take my own car because at this point, like, you're going to be late. Like, all right, cool.
That's on you.
Yeah. I'll meet you there. And somebody was like, I forgot who I was doing, but they were like, that is so smart. I'm going to start doing it. I was like, yeah, because then I don't get mad. I get to go when I want to go and we don't get into an argument. It's actually like a win-win.
Mm-hmm.
Back to Violet. It was his first and his first infant. So I felt like it felt very, very different.
I'm sure.
Yeah. And I felt very ready. With Noah, I wasn't ready. I wasn't anything.
Like nothing was planned.
Nothing. With Violet, like, I was just ready and comfortable. And I think that, like, it says a lot and, like, also helped with, like, her demeanor. You know? Like, I was just ready and, like, whatever. And just with seeing everyone else becoming moms and how everybody else was doing it, I'm like, okay, I can do this again. And now I'm like 10 years older and just a little bit more laid back in the sense that I wasn't worried about what everyone else was doing or looking at me. Like, I was confident in being a mom. Whereas when I had Noah, I can't tell you the amount of times that, like, I would go out with my parents and people would assume that I was a nanny too. It happened a few times, or like, and that mom and dad were Noah's parents, because it was always like me and Noah and mom and dad, which again is like, it just makes you feel like you can't do it. You know,
I think also because you were so much younger too, which not saying that there's not moms that are young that go to our kids' schools, but I remember you being like, everyone already has like their mom friends at school.
Yes.
And when you were able to like pick up or drop off or go to volunteer, whatever, you'd be like, I just am not part of any groups. Like, no one comes and talks to me. No one includes me in like
the
discussion.
Yeah, it's really tricky because everyone was like significantly older than me. I did make one mom friend and she's still one of my very dear friends.
And she was much older, right?
Yeah.
Like even older than a lot of the moms that were part of the group.
And she came up to me one day and was like, I had my daughter when I was engaged. Like, I get it. That's all she said. It was something like that. Or she's like, and then we just ended up becoming friends. And my husband is now really close with her husband. And we both like feel this way about each other. She will say like, thank God I have Ashleigh. But I truly feel the same way about her. Like, thank God I have.
I honestly
Krista.
think that sometimes, like, because I have my mom friends who I love so much, but even in high school, like, I've always kind of like looked around to see like if someone's sitting alone or, not with anyone. And honestly, sometimes people just like need their space and want to be by themselves, and you can tell. But like I've always tried to like include people or kind of like hang back and make it so like it's not like
I feel the same way. I try to at least like be the person that's like, oh, bring whoever. Like if you want to bring a friend, that's great. Because it like, with Noah, we didn't get invited to any birthdays. And I never got asked to like hang out with other parents. So again, it was like very lonely. But I have great friends and I have my people, but in that sense, it
took a little bit longer.
Yeah, and then I had my boyfriend Chris at the time, but like he still lived 2 hours away, so it wasn't like that nuclear family either. At that point though, when my son was in school, I was not living with my parents anymore, and I bought a house, which I was very proud of. And that was really great, but still I was before my husband moved in. I was by myself for a year, which like I forget about. Do you like even remember?
No. I was living in New Bedford.
Yeah, because Rob helped me move in my couch with his mom and Nick. I'll never forget that day. Yeah, so you were definitely with Rob. But yeah, there was just like a point that you can have your people, you can have like your family. You can have your people and you can have like your great group of friends and like have everything but still feel alone, And I feel like
50% of adults feel lonely. It's a real statistic.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't feel lonely anymore, but at the time.
There's still points where I feel like I'm so inundated with kids and everyone else and what everyone else needs that like I all of a sudden start feeling very alone. And I'm like, oh, I just haven't done anything for myself and I haven't like filled my own cup whatsoever. And like a week can go by or like 3 days can go by and all of a sudden just like I don't know why I feel this way, but I feel very lonely right now. And it's because I haven't been able to have like a one-on-one conversation about like, I haven't stopped to actually think about how I feel because I'm like in autopilot.
Right.
And I just realized like that I feel really alone, even though I'm married, have 3 kids, and like have this beautiful life. I forget to pick my head up and be like, okay, what do I need?
Right.
So I think that's where that comes from. It's not like this lingering feeling. It's just like a feeling that kind of pops in and out sometimes because I just like haven't been able to like process what's going on around me.
Yeah.
So I can see it. Like I can see how people like feel that way, like not having other people in the house. It's just you and your child.
Yeah.
Or like going through a transition or something that's really hard with like kids because you're so worried about them and how they feel and making sure they're okay that like you could care less about yourself and like even eating dinner.
Yeah. Well, that's not true. I always have to eat dinner. I just feel like after we got married, Noah was in second grade when we got married. So that was really like that was nice. And then we then had Violet 2 years later. Yeah, 2 years later. He was in fourth grade. I definitely feel like being a mom with having a daughter is very different. It's so much easier. With moms, I feel like the moms are around my age, which is nice. Not, it doesn't matter. I really don't care. I can be friends with anybody, but I feel like we have similar interests and things going on in our lives. And it just is so different. And I love that I feel like I have people that like know my daughter and I can call up and be like, can you take her off the bus and can you do this? Like I never had that with Noah.
All right, enough about your freaking kids. I'm just kidding. How about like let's get into like us a little bit and like growing up and stuff.
Oh. Are you gonna bring up how I was so mean to you?
Well, I think what everyone needs to know is one, I had scoliosis and had a back brace, and my sister still treated me like shit.
I had it. Wait.
And I had to get like metal rods for my back, and she still wouldn't invite me to parties and let me hang out with her.
To preface it,
or borrow her clothes.
Well, because like, okay, in my defense, you had a back brace and you ripped every single shirt you owned. Do you think I want you to borrow my clothes?
Yeah, but that wasn't why.
Pretty much. Well, and because like Kelsey, when she was younger, like, and you do still now, but like you commanded a room. Like I am Kelsey, and like especially in high school. And in high school, you were with this like clique of girls that like intrigued the whole school. And it was really annoying.
Well, I mean, I didn't know that then.
Think about it.
Better off
Think about it. All of your friends dated upperclassmen. All of them. All of them.
That must have been really hard for you. Let's dive in.
Well, like, you know, again, I'm like super.
I didn't date upperclassmen.
Not you, but like all of your friends. All of them. They all dated my friends.
I was like scared to date in high school. That's
what Jesus Christ will do to you.
No, I think it was just my like, so I was super chubby. We were both super chubby, like growing up.
I still am.
Stop it. And then in 7th grade, I had to wear a back brace because I had scoliosis.
And then she got wicked skinny. It was so annoying.
And I literally I shot up in height because that's like prime time to grow. And then I literally couldn't eat anything because I was so restricted. And like, I don't know, when we're little, we just eat what we want. You don't think about it. You don't think about how to get thin.
I used to make literally a chocolate banana ice cream shake.
Yeah, like whatever.
Every day when I got home.
So then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I got thin and I just was like a completely different person within like 2 years. And I know like everyone kind of goes through like puberty and then like starts wearing makeup and doing their hair and like getting taller, but like it was overnight where this happened to me. And then I hit high school and I went to a completely different high school than all of, we did when we grew up because we went to a private high school. And so it was like all new people who are then giving you attention. And I just was like, still that girl. Like I'm still that chubby, funny, because that's all I had, girl.
Right.
And when guys are like flirting with you or something, you're just like treating them like your brother because that's all you know growing up, because guys didn't want to date you.
Flirted with me in high school.
It just was like a weird dynamic for me. And like, I think I always gravitated more towards guys than I did towards girls because I was just always silly and like playful and joking.
Mm-hmm.
And, I was like another guy in the mix a lot of the time. So like, I never was like, oh, he wants to date me or he's like,
right.
That would never cross my mind because I was like, I don't know. Just like, I never thought I was like pretty and good enough, or, everyone else was just so much prettier than me and thinner than me and this. So it was that weird mentality of all of a sudden, then I was like, okay, like, I think I am actually kind of like something, is like, I think I'm actually like maybe I got something going on. I know that, I have a great personality. And at some points in my life, that's all I had going for me. And now it's like probably all I have going for me again.
That's not true.
So
that's not true.
I think that in high school, like it probably was different for you than it was for me. But like, I just wanted everyone to like me because I never had that. And maybe like I had a different dynamic because all of a sudden I was like skinny and pretty and literally out of nowhere. And then you were like, fuck this bitch. You can't be part of my friend group. And like your friends wanted to be friends with me because I was funny.
Yeah, and it was so
annoying. And then your guy friends were like, hey, let's like invite your sister.
And I was like, hot. I feel like I felt like that, like you were talking about. In junior high, I had a really hard time. And so once I went to high school and like I created my own friends, I had my own group, and I felt like really secure in high school. And then junior year happened, and
which is when I entered the group chat.
And everything changed. Everything. Like everything I had like built was like, oh, my sister's here now, and now I have to like, which in hindsight, I should have just been like, my sister's here now, let's share and like be friends with everybody. Well, yeah, because it was just
such a different experience for you. I was never jealous of you. I just like needed to be friends. Well, and like, it was wanted really your hard approval and to be friends with you so bad, and you were just like, nope.
Well, it was really hard because like I, you know, worked hard to like get my friends and be where I wanted to be, and then you came in, and all of a sudden, everyone just wanted to be friends with you. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? This bitch is coming in freshman year, thinks she's gonna rule the school? Hell no. Like you need to like, and I think it was because like I was like, you need to kind of have the same bumps as I did. Like,
yeah, but I never have viewed friends like that.
No, I'm not saying
always
friends.
Had a really hard time with people like being mean to me and stuff. So I've always known that I only want to be friends with the good people, and I've never been like, oh, they're cool, I need to be friends with them.
No, it wasn't about being cool. It was just about like when I say like I like made my group, it's like my group of people. Like I am still so close with who I was friends with in high school. They're my best friends. So I'm like, you're messing this up for me. Like I don't need them to like you more than they like me.
All I wanted was to like wear the sweater that you were wearing the next day.
Right. And I think too, it was really hard for me in like junior high. And so like I finally have this like great group of friends, and like I know how great you are, and like my own insecurities, I'm like, she's so much more great than I am. They're gonna like her more than they're gonna like me, and so I need to protect myself at all costs and not let you in.
Yeah, but you were like that before you even hit high school.
I know, because I'm like super insecure. It's true.
And now you just invite me to everything, and you're like, come to my house.
Well,
I'm having people over. Come to my house on Friday at this time.
I know. Did you remember I told
you? Like, is it an option? You're like, no.
I kept on telling you I was so happy you were here.
Yeah. Well, you should be.
Well, I feel like
now it's like tables have turned, roles are reversed. I think you've like understood how no, because I'm saying not roles are reversed. I'm mean to you.
That's why I gave you that look.
No, I just
and roles are reversed. Like I'm trying to infiltrate you now. Like
no. I more mean that like I think now like we just are busy with our lives, and I would say ever since you had Noah, you're like hang out with me, and it's taken a while for me to be like, you were literally mean to me our whole lives, and now you want me to drop everything and hang out with you. Okay.
Well, like I think I just told you why I was so mean.
No, I know that. That's not the first time you've told me that. But now you're telling the world. But yeah, I just think it was like I see your perspective. I just think that like, you know, mine is like I was just used to like people just being kind of rude and like weird to me because of either like how I looked or also like you and I know
this is like a fun like lighthearted podcast, but like
it's about to get deep.
No, I'm not gonna cry. No, like after I had Noah, a lot of people showed up for me, and you were the one that just showed up consistently, always, because you're my sister. And
no, it was because I was obsessed with him and still am.
Well, okay, so I'm not talking anymore. No, when like you come to, like, your parents say you're gonna be best friends when you get older, and like after seeing that and you showing up, I'm just like, damn, why was I keeping an arm's length? You know what I mean?
I'm persistent, Mm. Yeah, I mean, no, I think it's real, and
I have a lot of dust in my eyes.
I think that, it's honest and open for you to say that you were insecure during that time. And obviously, like, you can, I mean, anyone who understands like the dynamic would say the same thing, right?
Yeah.
But I think as an adult or like a younger adult, I kind of like processed it and I was like, wow, my sister was such a dick to me growing up. And even in like college and stuff, like you still were doing the same shit to me. And then I was in college and like, I think I just always, like, no matter what you did to me, I loved you, but then kind of got an edge a little bit, like when I got a little bit older, like, and was like, well, now I really do have my own thing going on. And now you're trying to like push your way in and it's not really fair. And then like we came back together when just like Noah was born and like we just know each other better than anyone else knows each other. So most of the time, like our little tiffs are and end in 2 seconds flat. Whereas like anyone else I get into a tiff with, because they're not your sister,
Right.
it lasts so long, or you can't like communicate it in the same way and just have it be done.
Right. Like I know that like even if I get in a fight with you, like it'll be fine.
Well, yeah, like there's no. I feel like you just go through so much.
And you're like literally the only person that I feel comfortable like actually saying, like,
or
if I'm
like
upset.
cleaning your vagina after you gave birth, like.
Oh, I was like, what? When did you do that? But you did.
Twice.
Twice?
Yeah, I was literally in the shower with you.
No, I know that.
I gave you a shower twice.
You did?
Yeah.
I remember the first time.
Yeah, I think you just liked it so much the first time that the second time you're like, hey, get in here. What are you doing out there?
Oh, God.
It was fine. Ashleigh also had a C-section. And like, so like, yes, it was her second child, but like, she also was like older at that point. You had a rough pregnancy, especially towards the end. Like, you had to be induced because of health reasons. And
I didn't feel like it was that. I was fine.
No, you
Everyone
weren't,
else was
but
like,
I think you were just like, I need my hair to be washed and braided, and like it's just different. Like if I'm there versus like mom, like
when
be
Chris was like, I'll wash you, and I was like, absolutely not.
Don't even fucking look at me.
Don't even look at me. And I went to the bathroom and like I like blew a clot, and like you were like, you need to call the nurse. You don't remember that?
No.
Oh yeah, you're like, that's not normal.
And what'd she say? That's normal?
No, she was like, oh yeah, you should go back into it. It was just like, it's graphic.
It was like an egg.
It was like the size of a baseball.
Oh, okay.
And I felt a lot of pressure, but I was just like, oh, and then I looked and you were like, go get your nurse. And I was like, okay. Like, I was like, Chris, use the call bell. Because the bathroom, the shower, and the toilet were all in one room.
Yeah.
But I clearly I was fine. So, yeah, you were the one, you saved my life. No. Nothing happened. There was nothing.
It's just nice because, like, I do feel like, I don't know, when you can kind of, like, put your shit aside, be able to, like, honestly speak about the things that, like, irritate you of like kind of like how you grew up or like how each other were, and then you like actually listen and you're able to be like, okay, well, like I was like that because of XYZ, and not in a defensive way, just like being like,
and I feel like
honest.
You're one of like I have a few people that I can be like that with, but like because you're my sister, like, and for like I know like everyone's like, oh, not everyone, but like I'm typically very bubbly and friendly, because, and I'm very much like, how would I want someone to treat me? And I feel like that's why I am that way, because like I would want someone to welcome me with open arms. So I try to emulate that a lot. Like golden rule is like literally my kryptonite, because I always try to like think about, but like a lot of the time people will be like, well, maybe people don't want that. And which is like tough for me.
Yeah, because like that could be coming on strong for someone that's like super introverted, and you're like, I give hugs, and they're like, oh my god,
I'm not that much of a hugger.
No, I just mean like for someone that's like outgoing, or like they're coming to your house, like you'd go and like give them a hug and be like, hi, I'm Ashleigh.
But like one of my friends was like, I've never seen you cry before, and I was like, really? Because like
I can cry right now.
Yeah, there is. I mean, because she's like, you're just always so happy. And I'm like, oh, like, no. I am typically like gregarious and things like that. But like, I feel like I can just throw down and like say the most like out of pocket things with you. And you know that like either I don't mean it or I just needed to get it out. And
well, yeah, because you also like, I don't know, there's just like people that you feel safe with, regardless if you're related to them or not, that you just, you don't have to follow up the fucked up thing you just said with, but please don't tell anyone, because they just won't.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And I say crazy shit to you.
Yeah.
I know. People think I'm nice, but no.
Judgmental.
Yeah. No.
If we say no after, it's not real.
It's mostly about like what people are wearing, but that's fine. Well, like I just can't believe sometimes like people are like look in the mirror and they're like, this is as good as it's gonna get.
Well, I think sometimes they don't, because like usually that's what I do. And then I happen to look in the mirror. You just don't. You just like put on your outfit and go.
Oh no.
And honestly, I think that's why a lot of the time I like look crazy, and you'll be like, only you could pull that off. And I'm like, are you nicely saying that I look like hell?
No,
or
I would tell you if you looked like hell.
But like, it's just because I am just like putting things together and visually, and then running out the door.
Oh no, I pick out my clothes the night before. I'll try them on early, and if I need to change them, I do.
The second the kids go to bed, the second this podcast is off, my ass is in my bed.
I mean,
not one other thing am I doing. Maybe peeing.
Oh no, I pick out.
I'm also eating a melatonin.
I also pick out like a bunch of clothes for the week, and like I try to put them together.
You're so annoying. You always do look good though.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I appreciate that. It's been a long road for that, for sure.
For you looking good, or for me giving you a compliment?
Both.
Well, on that note, I think we did pretty good.
I think so.
You think Renee's going to be happy with this?
Yeah, because I didn't do that well. And she's far funnier than I am. Like, you guys have better banter, I feel.
Well, today was
It makes sense to me now. Because it didn't before. No, just kidding.
Today was about you.
I mean, I tell everybody about this. And I'm thinking about going to the Nook and ordering something and saying,
their shit looks so good.
Saying, I actually heard about you guys on the Working-ish Moms podcast.
They'll be like, are you Kelsey? Because you look exactly and sound exactly like her.
We don't really look like.
We sound identical.
We do.
No one's going to be able to tell who's talking other than.
Only Rob.
Other than the fact that you sound elderly, because you're so much older than I am.
That's fucked up. Rob can tell. Chris can't.
Yeah, because Chris, yeah.
Noah can tell too.
Well, yeah, because I'm his real mom. Right. All right. On that note, thanks for listening to us. Because no one else does, you're supposed to say.
Oh, okay. Do it again.
Anyway, thanks for listening.
Because no one else does.
Love ya.